Right.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's Platinum webinar with your host, Todd Walters.
Thank you, Andrea. Welcome, everyone. It's great to talk to you. I'm going to recommend you grab a notepad and grab a pen and start working on your business. Here's how this should work, okay? You show up to a coaching webinar, okay, or a live event with notepad in hand. And your intention is to write down anything and everything that comes out of our mouths that you believe is beneficial to your business. In other words, you make a list, man. And then after the webinar, okay, like after we get done today here around 3:30 or whatever, after we get done, you look back at your notes and then you put a little star by the ones that you think are high priority. Okay, and you go to work on those. You begin to implement those things. So today, I didn't have anything else on my agenda to do today but to work on my to-do list. So I had about 5 things on mine, and I got them all done, and they're profound. They're absolutely profound impact to-dos, activities that will benefit you and me. Okay, things that you guys don't know about, but they will have a tremendous impact on your business. So that's the way this works. Okay, but you have to show up willing to close your door, cut your cell phone off, close your email out, and work on your business. Let's think about this for a minute, okay? As a Platinum Program member, we do 4 webinars a month. Okay, I got 4 of them for you. The first one of every month, the first Tuesday of the month, you get me or me and Craig, depending on what our travel schedule is, okay, working with you specifically on the rainmaking activities, the only things you should be doing, and how to better drill down and work on your business. Okay, and that's what we're going to be doing today. I've got some mistakes that I've identified that many of you are making that are just robbing the profits right out of your business. So those of you that are on the webinar today, you're going to benefit from it. Those that miss the webinar, here's what happens. They will continue to make the same freaking mistakes tomorrow, and the next day, 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 meaning their business will not be as profitable as it could be, and that's a fact, okay? So you show up believing that you don't know everything. I sure as heck don't, but I know a lot of things from a 1,000-foot level, top of the mountain experience here, doing pretty well in this business, that I believe can help you. That's why you're here, and you're going to benefit from it. Okay, those that aren't, they won't. I feel bad for them. Okay, we work hard to try to get people to pay attention. Remember what I say, the hardest thing that we do is get people to copy. It really is. I'm telling you, it's hard. And don't think that it's easy. Okay, so the second Tuesday of every month, I train your team. Okay, your guys show up and it's role playing, and you're making notes on what you can do and say better to get more prospects to say yes to meeting with you, and these appointments actually happen. The third Tuesday of the month is an interview. I interview one of our millionaire agent members. What's working, what's not working, show you their stuff, talk about successes and failures, and you're making notes. Like, you can't write fast enough on that. And at the end of each month, we drill down specifically to a system that I believe needs highlighting and discussion at that time. Last month, we talked about the elasticity of price. Okay, you being able to charge more or less for the services that you provide, and why it's possible and how you can go about doing it, and expanding your mind to those possibilities. So that goes on every month. And when you show up to these live events, like the one that we got coming up in Orlando, the same thing happens. You show up with notepad and pen in hand, and you work on your business. As a matter of fact, let me share this with you. I recorded a webinar recently for new Platinum members that I don't think many of you know about, as a matter of fact. Let me see if I can... Here it is. All right, let me cut my... Okay. Let me see if you can see this on my screen. Make a note of this. Yeah, you can see it. All right, so here I am in the webinar library. This is the new coaching site, okay? And in the webinar library, down here on the right, I click on Platinum Session. You guys see that? All right. And here it is right here from April, new Platinum member webinar. Now, in this webinar, I talked to a few new members about how to work on your business. How to work on your business. Like the biggest question that you want to be asking yourself every month, okay, is this question here. Are you ready? Is your business up or down over the same month last year? And if so, why? And the answer to that question is if your business is up and if your business is down, why is it? The answer to that question is very revealing, okay? And it needs to be answered with thought and specifics, because that will tell you what you need to do more of and what you need to do less of, what you should spend more time on, what you should spend less time on, what needs delegating and what needs your attention. Okay, that's how this works. Okay, so anyway, if you haven't watched and paid very close attention to that web, you should. Okay, and I probably made a mistake by only doing that for brand new members, because every one of you would benefit and should jump in there. Which leads me to my next directive here, before I get in and talking about mistakes that members make. Oh, you know what? I can go ahead and tell you the biggest mistake, okay, that members make. This is number one on the list, okay, is your pushback on working on your business. Your pushback, okay? Remember when I say that your routine equals your results? It really does. But I get, this from all the Platinum Program members, I still get complaints from some here and there about their business, that it's not where they want it to be. And I can trace why that is back to their routine, how they do things. Okay? My routine, so let me kind of put it into perspective, because I have a unique position on this, right? I am you. See, I'm Craig Proctor. I'm Todd Walters. I'm not the guy who invented and developed and laid out the system for others to copy. I am you. I was a member, okay, sitting where you were. I had the good fortune of being in early, and I had the good fortune of convincing Craig to spend more time with me than others, okay, in my own unique way. And I aggressively wanted to know the details of the failures and the successes of this business so I could become a better copier. So in other words, I made it my business to find out all I could about that Quantum Leap system, the Millionaire Agent franchise, and put it to work in my business. Okay, so my approach to my routine was to spend as many hours a day as possible on that. And if that meant working till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and getting up at 6 a.m. to be able to pull it off every day, I did it. In other words, I had an insatiable appetite for a business that would serve my life. And you know what? I got it. Took some hard work, took some time, but I got it, man. I got it. Okay? By all measures, I'm the only real estate sales team business that was able to have a sellable business. Sold the business in April of 2009. Like, I don't know if that's been done. And then, launched another one that's going to make millions of dollars this year without my involvement. So we can say with good measure that was a good routine, right? That's a good routine. So the big mistake, number one mistake that agents make is not understanding fully how important your routine is for working on your business. You do not miss opportunities to go and work on your business. You just don't miss them if you have an insatiable appetite to grow it. So right now on your computer screen is the agenda for June. Now let me listen really close here to what I'm getting ready to tell you. Very close. Over the last couple of years, I've been working with our titanium level members. If you're not aware of what that is, that's a group of 25 platinum members, okay, that that said on their own individual accord that we want more. Like, we want to know more. We want more help from you, Todd, specifically, okay, in the one-on-one environment. And I said, okay, I'll give it to you. So they come to my office a couple of times a year, and they spend a day or two with me, one-on-one, specifically working on their business. And the results of that are phenomenal. It's amazing. They go on to add additional hundreds of thousands of dollars to their business through implementing the things that we work on. Okay, and it's worked so well that I said, you know what? I wish I could do this for all of the platinum members. How can I spend a day or two with the number one and the number two things that would make the greatest impact on a platinum program member's business? How can I do that with every one of them? And I said, you know what? I'll do it in a group setting. I will take the same material, the same dialogue, the same way of working with these people one-on-one, and I'll do it for the members over the course of a couple of days in Orlando, Florida. So that's what you're looking at here. I call it a boot camp. It's not a workshop. It's not a conference. It's a boot camp, man. This is me specifically looking you in the face and walking you through specifically what you must do to make a quantum leap in your business, focusing on only two things. Okay, your ability to get a lot more listings on a consistent basis, okay, and your sales team being a lot more productive than it is now. The two biggest things that you say that you want, you know, that's the two things. If we surveyed everybody, it's the two biggest things they say they want. They're right here on a silver platter for you. But you've got to show up. If you don't show up, you won't get them, right? There's just so many opportunities to be able to do this. You're just missing. So we've got a lot of platinum members already registered for this, and I'm excited about it. But there's also some of you that haven't taken the time to go to the coaching site and register for this. Okay, the two things that you want. Number one day right there, June 1st. I'm sorry, June 15th. Okay, you can see it right there. Okay, all of the top methods and systems for getting a steady stream to overflow of listings. Now let me show you an example. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. Leveraging the listings you get to get more. Okay, did you guys know there's a checklist for that? There's a checklist on how to leverage the listings that you get to get a lot more listings. And the checklist has each item in the checklist involves a marketing system that will bring in more business. It's going to take me at least an hour and a half just to go through that. And I can't do that effectively without showing you good member example and bad member example of each one of these things, because words matter. Words matter. Okay? And I'll give you one example of that, but I need to pause my screen for it right now in terms of words matter to prove my point and motivate you to get your fannies there. Those of you that aren't coming or that made a decision you're not sure about coming, and those of you that are coming will get very excited about it. Okay? So I'm going to my email right now. You can't see that, but I'll pull it up in just a minute, and I'm going to show you a postcard. Okay, let me throw that up on the screen. Let me make sure you can see it. This is from one of the agents, team leaders, one of our team leaders here at Optimus Real Estate Brokers. Okay, Dan, smart guy. I've known him since I was in kindergarten. And this postcard, although it looks pretty good, okay, it has some things that will impact his results. Okay, serious things. Okay, I'll just give you one example. All right, number one, here's Dan's photo. I'm okay with his picture being there, but if you're going to have your picture, you want to make it a lot bigger. And let me tell you why that is. Okay, Should probably take up a space of about like that. And you definitely want to tell people who you are, day and odom. What we found over the years is that when you tell people that you're going to buy their house if it doesn't sell, you're going to back that, that's your guarantee, then it has to be completely personalized. Okay? It must be a smiling face of you looking at the seller prospect in the face while they read that. Which brings this into question. Who is we? Like, who's we? Okay? I don't know who we is. Is it Dan, or is he going to pass it on to somebody else? And remember, the majority of people that you market to are not high I's and not high D's. They're high S's and C's, the majority. They're not like you. Okay? So I'm using Dan as an example here. Now, I've already told Dan. See, he sent me his postcard, and he said, hey, what do you think about this? What am I missing? Where's my holes? Where's my leaks? I responded right fast, said, here's what you need to do to fix that. But I'm just giving you as an example. Okay? Does that mean that he couldn't send his postcard out and it wouldn't work? No, it would probably work okay. Okay, but you're spending money on it. What happens if you can get, 25% more from everything that you do? And the answer is you can't. You absolutely can't. Okay, but you just need to know how to do that. And that's very difficult to do without one-on-one settings and with explanation and details. Otherwise, you make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Okay, so that's a money leak. Okay, so I can tell you this. You show up in Orlando, you're going to plug all these money leaks. Okay, if for no other reason, you're going to get lots of instruction as well as the materials on what to use to get a lot more listings. Let me show you another one here. Looking for the wrong freaking thing. Here we go. Best offline. Okay, here we go. This is the best of the best offline seller lead generation systems. Okay, and you can see right here, there's two folders. There's a direct mail 1 and a direct mail 2. That's because there's a control and then there's the test. There's the control and then there's the test. Okay, the control for you, or the control here, and I establish a control, you use it, but then you test against your control on a smaller percentage of prospects using the test, and you'll be able to determine which one's better, man. Which one should I be spending the majority of my money on? I'm going to show you how to do that. And if you want to make a quantum leap in your business, if you want to know how to get 2 to 3 times more out of everything you do, that's how you do it. That's how you market things. So Craig would routinely give me an ad. Okay, so let me see if I can, let me show you this. Let me find it here real fast. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show this to you. Just bear with me 1 second so I can, there we go. You know what? It's not going to be there. Marketing manual. All right. How many of you guys have access to your marketing manual? Okay, do you know what I mean by marketing manual? Okay. I want to show you why this is so important. But I'm scrolling down on my computer right now, and I'm sparing you the pain of watching that. But I'm going to show you an absolute game changer. But I need to get to the editorial section. Oh, my goodness. It's taking 175 pages to get there. But I'll get there momentarily. So you guys bear with me 1 second. Let me just pull this up while we're on the subject in the conversation. And if it becomes too much of a delay here, where we're getting some dead air as I'm showing you this, I'll just move on to something else. But it warrants a few minutes of trying to pull this off. And what I'm doing is just so you know, I'm downloading some information here. And it's just not wanting to download quite fast enough for me. Okay, but boy, it sure is taking some time here. There's a lot of pictures in this thing. So anyway, you may want to go to the coaching site. You know what? That's a pretty good idea. As you're watching these webinars, okay? You may want to have the coaching website open, okay? And then spend some time when I say, hey, go to the coaching site, do this and that, you'll get very familiar with where these things are. Okay, so the marketing manual is under the resources tab on the coaching site. And in the marketing manual, if you went to, say, the editorial ad section, okay, here we go. That took me a long time. That's page 82, and it just took a long time for that stuff to download, 3 minutes. Okay, and the reason is 175 pages. I don't know if you can see that up there, but look at this. Craig taught me early on in my real estate career all about testing. I've had platinum members where I send some marketing stuff to that I call the control, and they run it, and it doesn't work very well for them. They don't get good ROI on it, okay? To my response is, well, don't run it. And then they get kind of mad. Well, I spent like $2,000, you know, on that postcard or those ads or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, so now you know what not to do. And it's like they're dumbfounded by my response. But what do you expect my response to be? My response is, I'm assuming you want your business to grow. And if you think that you can just hit a home run or a grand slam with the very first time or first ad or first this or of anything, you're sadly mistaken. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on stuff that didn't work to give you the things that would. So that's simple. So here we have an example of alternate headlines, you know, for this editorial ad. And many of you will take the ad and you just run the ad. And then it doesn't work or you don't get, no. Let's go with what normally happens. You get some leads. You run this ad, you get a few leads, 8 or 9 leads on it. You call, you get a listing or two, and you're like, wow, this ad's pretty good. Okay, well, is it? Are you going to test against it? How do you know it's as good as it can be? You're spending money on it. Wouldn't it make sense if you could get 2 to 3 times more out of the same dollar that you would want to do that? Okay, well, you're buying the system, like you guys are paying for this system. Okay, the coaching is free. It's not a coaching program that you guys are in. You're actually buying and paying for a franchise, a millionaire agent franchise. The coaching and training on it's free. So implement the system. So that's an example of a control and the test. Right there, you're looking at it. Just because this headline worked good at that moment in time for Craig, in that moment in history, based on culture in the marketplace, doesn't mean that if you're in San Diego in 2015, that it's the same results. Okay? So we give you alternate headlines to use. And I've given you additional headlines on these ads that we've even got on top of this that we've tested and used. Okay, so anyway, when we get to Orlando, those are a couple of things that's going to happen. You are absolutely going to get the control and the test for just, not all, but a good bit of each one of these marketing systems. Okay, and specific how-to, what to do, member example of good, and member example of could be better. Okay, so you'll avoid these mistakes. So it's going to take a good full day just to get through the listing side of it. Okay. Now, when I see you in 2 weeks on June 16th, it's about your people. This is why you don't want to bring your OSAs or ISAs to this boot camp. Don't do it. We're going to be rather hard on them. Okay. But equally as hard on you. Okay. So once you go down the road of hiring people or generating business that requires more help, once you go down the road of that and you begin to hire people, it never stops, man. If it does stop, shame on you. That means your business is not growing. It's flat as a pancake. If you don't find yourself in a constant need of better people, then your business is flat as a pancake. And I don't know if that may be a sin. I'm going to have to look that up in my Bible over here. It may be sinful. So That means you got some business growth problems, man. Why is productivity so important? If you have an agent, if you've got an outside salesperson, okay, and you send them on an appointment, and they don't get the agreement signed, whether it's a buyer or whether it's a listing, what have you lost? Okay, well, let me tell you what you've lost. You've lost that sale, you've lost the referrals, you've lost the testimonials. Because when you lose that sale, you lose the referrals. When you lose the referrals, you lose each one of those transactions and the referrals from those people, all of the buyers that call on those signs. That's how you quantum leap your business, man, is based on the productivity of your team. See, we can easily help each one of you quantum leap your business by implementing the system. Here you get overflow. But if your team, if you can't leverage the people that you hire to do the same thing as you did when it was you, holy crap, you're not going to quantum leap your business. You're just going to get frustrated. Okay, so on day 2, June 16th, is all about that. I don't know if you guys, if some of you, I should say, you guys, some of you really get this. Failing to understand the leverage that's in every single transaction, the multiple transactions that come from every single transaction, if you really understood that, then you would be very bullish on the people that you're hiring and bringing onto your team. Okay, it doesn't stop there. Okay, if I go back to day 1, growing your brand, okay, check this out. You guys will like this. This is fun. Then I'll get on to some of the other mistakes. This is an ad I got from Jim Petrell from ERA, okay, from 1989. 1989. They were doing this in the 70s, by the way. You can see the ad. If we don't sell your home, we'll buy it. They put it at the bottom of the ad. And many of you can already see the money leaks. All right, so it's not new. ERA, big company, but they don't understand marketing, okay? Don't understand marketing. So if ERA doesn't really get it, there's a good chance that many of you miss it as well, okay? Like, what's the brand? See, ERA failed to understand that the unique selling proposition is the brand, but yet they wanted their brand, ERA, to be the brand. They wanted the logo. They really wanted to get business based on using the logo. They really did. So it trumped the unique selling proposition in all of their marketing over the years, and they never really could make it work for them. That's a shame, huh? Okay, well, it's the same mistake that you guys are making many times. You fail to understand that your unique selling proposition is your brand. Okay? I don't even know if this is an offer. It's just a statement. There's no call to action. An offer is never an offer without a call to action. You have to tell people what you want them to do. But I would maintain that, you know, I can rewrite this ad form, as I've done for you guys, and they would make a lot more money. But I'm not doing that for them. They haven't asked me to, and they're not Platinum Program members. But some ERA agents are. Okay? So what not to do. And additional resources. So you can see that from this 2-day conference, you're getting a lot. When I say additional resources, here's Dan Kennedy's book, No BS Guide to Brand Building by Direct Response. Okay? And that's a great study. So that's just in 2 days, man. It's in 2 days. And that was a good lead-in for me to be able to help you with at least giving you some general ideas of some things. All right, so let's run through a few of the mistakes here in addition to what we just brought up, okay? And I'll probably end up coming back to some of that stuff. All right, so I covered a few mistakes. Number 1 was failing to work on your business on a regular basis. Every day, not all day, every day you must work on your business. Your routine equals your results, which means, does your routine include working on your business? working from your checklist of things to do. Okay, how do you develop a checklist of things to do? From me and Craig Proctor, and your coach. The webinars are live events. Okay, so we've got our Platinum Money Making Summit in the spring. We have our mid-year event, which is what's going on right now, this Ultimate Business Building Bootcamp that I usually throw in. And we have our Millionaire Agent Maker Conference in the fall. And I do 4 or 5 OSA workshops around the country, North America, over the course of a year. That's a lot of stuff going on, man. You've got to get to at least one workshop, these other 3 events. I mean, it's just what you do to work on your business. I just can't imagine doing anything else if I wanted my business to be my, to free me, to be able to do what I want to do in life when I want to do it. Okay? You're just there. So that's number 1 mistake. Okay? Not being at in Orlando, huge mistake for you. Okay? So you should get there. All right. All right. Another mistake that I mentioned to you was failing to understand the leverage available in every transaction. Okay, so let's recap that a little bit more, and I'll do that with looking at some materials from the boot camp coming up. Let me see here. Here we go. I'll go with my property syndication checklist. Did that come up? Can you guys see that? Yep. Excellent. Okay. Property syndication checklist. So this is just the checklist for property syndication. In other words, I'm leveraging the listings that I'm getting to get more. I want to leverage every client that I get to get more. I want to leverage everything that you do on a daily basis to get business, to get more business. And that's what we teach you and show you and give you here. That is the Millionaire Agent franchise that you've been given. Okay, so knowing how to do all of these things, it's impossible to know. It comes with thought. Okay, like I sat around and thought, Craig sat around and thought about how we could get more without involvement from, us, the Rainmaker. Okay, so here's one example of leveraging a transaction, in this case, the listing, to get more listings. Okay, just one example. I've got quite a few of them, and I can't show them all to you now today, but I plan on doing that here in 2 weeks. Okay, so property syndication checklist, the remarks. All right, when my listing gets syndicated in syndication land, okay, it's a golden opportunity for me. See, Google is really just the classified ads from your local newspaper online. Did you know that? That's what Google is. That's what the internet is for the most part, right? Okay, so it's great because now I can get my listings, whatever ad I want to run, to show up everywhere. So what made it so easy was when the MLSs went public, when the information in the MLSs went public with IDXs. So now my listings show up everywhere without me. I didn't do anything. So put them in the MLS and now they're all over the world. Okay? All right, so failing to understand how you can leverage every property that you put on the market to get more business, big mistakes. So we enhance the remarks with our unique selling proposition and offer, okay, on every syndicated property. And you can do this if you know how. Okay? Next on the checklist, the photos. Who said every picture has to be the bedroom or the bathroom or the front of the house or the back of the house or the foyer, the dining room, the kitchen? Who says every picture has to be that? Who made up those rules? Okay? Why can't photos be about other things that the buyer or the prospect looking at the pictures would find interesting? Like, why can't I use the pictures of the house as classified ads, as Google? How come the pictures can't be their own search engine? Those are great questions to ask, isn't it? And many of you, the wheels are turning. It's like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Okay? Same thing with your virtual tour links. Who's to say it has to be a virtual tour of the actual house? How come there can't be something else in there that would benefit the prospect? How many people are going to buy the home they actually see? So why would, look, do you guys know what product placement is? That's right. Big companies like Apple pay huge sums of money to movie producers and studios to get their, quote, products placed in the movie or actually used by the actors in the movies. Why can't your virtual tour stuff on the house do the same thing? Right? So what is it that you most want to get? More business. You want business from people that aren't going to be buying that house. Is that right? Product placement. Okay, so your profile. Okay, right now I can go to the internet and Google up just about any of you and look at your profiles on your various sites that show up, Yelp, Zillow, whatever shows up there. And does your profile contain your unique selling proposition? Not necessarily your performance guarantee, but your USP. And your USP has 6 ingredients. Are all 6 ingredients embedded into your profile? Is there an offer with call to action? Okay, so anyway, I can't go on, but the mistake number 2 that I have for you that's robbing you of tremendous amounts of money, okay, is that failing to understand the leverage that you truly have in everything that you do day in and day out. Every piece of advertising thing that you put out there, every prospect that comes across your doorstep, every lead that you give to your ISA, if you really understand the leverage in that, if you did, you would be way more bullish, hawkish on who you give the leads to, how they're handled, and demand measurement of everything that happens within your business. So yeah, some of your guys are saying, holy crap, I may have waited too late to get to Orlando. That's a little different than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, look, you just don't miss opportunities to go hang out with very successful people, and that would be mistake number 3, association. See, I got kids. Many of you have kids too, right? Well, we will do crazy things for our children, won't we? We will pay enormous sums of money to get them out of one environment and put them into another. We will uproot our entire lives and businesses, move across towns and states and provinces and countries to get out of one environment and into another for our children. Okay? Because of the the pressure, stress that it brings on you when you believe they're in the wrong environment. So you would probably say that it's the most important thing for your child outside of your guidance and demonstration or leading by example, wouldn't you say, is who they hang out with. Number 1 on your list for your children. So you know where I'm going with this, right? So what's number 1 on your list for you as an entrepreneur, as a business leader, as a rainmaker? Right. Who you associate with. So if you think you're going to get up and go to work in your business and associate with the same people every day, your employees, nothing against your employees, nothing against your agents, but that's not the kind of association I'm talking about. If you think you're going to go to your real estate company at the corner and your RE/MAX office or your KW office or whatever office you guys go to, and hang out at the water cooler with the other agents at your real estate company, if you think that's the kind of association I'm talking about, you're sadly mistaken. The association I'm talking about, man, are people that are doing 5 times, 3 times, 10 times the business that you're doing, like those are the kind of people that you want to go hang out with. The more they're doing than you are, the better. And guess what? There's only one place in North America or on the planet that we know of that has the most millionaire real estate agents in one place, and that is here. We have more 7-figure income earners in our program than any franchise convention you'll ever go to. That's a fact, man. So failing to understand the power of association and how money is attracted to that kind of thing, it's a huge mistake that you were making. So if I could wave my magic wand, it would be to get more members getting on a plane or getting in a car and going and associating with groups of high income, not achievers, but accomplishers. In other words, plug yourself into a circle where there are others where you're the lowest guy on the totem pole, right? And that's what you get here in our program. All right, so that's 3 massive mistakes that members are making on a daily basis that most of you don't know about or don't realize the gravity of it. Okay, so we're going to do something about that here. And yeah, I'm glad I spent a little more extra time on, it wasn't my plan at all actually, to spend a lot of extra time on talking about the Orlando event. I didn't even know if I was going to bring it up. But I'm glad I did, because maybe that put it into a different perspective for you. Okay, but if I go to schedule, click on events, there it is right there, June 15th, 16th, Platinum Bootcamp, click, and download agenda and do everything I need to do there. Okay, and get to the bootcamp. Remember, the OSA workshops is me training your team, okay? And then we've got our big Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference coming up in September, so in Anaheim. But anyway, that's some great information, man. I hope you guys really benefit from that. Let me show you 3 quick things, okay, in terms of your brand building, offer making, and that kind of thing. Okay, you ready? I'm going to close my computer so I can bring this up and do a good job here. All right, so let me go to Anaheim, September of 2015. All right, you ready? Here we go. Hey, there's a train, man. Home buyers. Okay, here we go. Okay, I got it. I got it set up for you. Ready? Let me figure out how to get my computer cut back on here so you can see it. Here we go. Okay. Many of you are familiar with these business cards, but write this down. You really want a business card for different situations. Remember message to media to market match? You guys have heard us talk about that before. We actually talk about that in our new book, Craig and I do, Death of the Traditional Real Estate Agent, Rise of the Super Profitable Real Estate Sales Team, available on Amazon. So, but anyway, message to media to market match. Okay, so this card here with Mr. Watson's face on it, your home sold guaranteed or will buy it, Bill Watson. Okay, it's missing a call to action, by the way. He actually has it on the back. I don't know why it's not on the front. Let's go to the back. Maybe this is the front. Your home sold guaranteed or will buy it. Call Bill, start packing. Okay. Now, when you look at this, what's Bill's brand? Right, the Guaranteed Sale Program. That's his brand. So this is the front of the card, and I would go ahead and tell you that all of your business cards should have this the same. Should be the same on every card. You can change the back depending on your marketing medium or who you're trying to attract. Okay, so let's suppose you want to put business cards inside your listings next to your property brochures. You follow me? You're going to put a stack of cards inside your listings next to your property brochures. So this goes on one side, okay, and this would go on the back. Home buyers. Okay, if you're not happy with your home purchase, I'll buy it back, guaranteed. Okay, so we mix the message up a little bit, targeting the specific, since we've got buyers coming in, some of them don't have houses to sell, then we take the opportunity to throw out our USP for buyers. Okay, so I've got two cards now. Maybe I've got one for sellers. I've got one for buyers. But remember, all of them are consistent in that they have my #1 performance guarantee on it that I'm trying to build my business on, your home sold guaranteed or I'll buy it. Okay, and then I can just change the back to target who I'm targeting. So in this case, a card for inside my listings targeting home buyers. Okay, you guys got that? All right, now let's go to a different scenario. Let's pretend we're talking to a brand new listing that we just got. Okay, I'm sitting down with the new seller. He just signed the listing agreement. Okay, now what do? Right, I take advantage of his frame of mind to ask for referrals. So I pull out my referral form. Okay, you guys want to see that? I'll show it to you right now. I got one here somewhere. Here we go. Here it is. I'll pull out my referral form, throw it up on the screen. I make my referral offer, and then I hand him a couple of cards. All right, business cards. On the front of the card, looks like that. On the back of the card, it looks like that. My referral offer. In context. I give him 2 or 3 of these. Tell him what to do with them. Okay, so now I'm up to what, 3 business cards? Okay, remember, message to media to market match. I'm up to 3. All right, but it doesn't stop there. I got one more. If I can find it, I want to show you this. If I can find it. Oh, I can find it. I just found it. You're going to love me. Recruiting agents. Okay, on one side, it says that. On the other side, it says agents. Income certainty. Join the award-winning Watson team. There we go. So anyway, more on that when we get together in Orlando at the Platinum Ultimate Business Building Summit, June 15th and 16th. All right, so how many cards was that? Let's see, there was my business card for sellers. There was one for buyers. There was one for, what was it, referrals. And there's one for recruiting. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So there's 4, because I can think of 4 different situations or scenarios, and each one of them is specific to what I'm doing, message to media to market match. And this goes back to the big mistake that some of you guys are making in terms of failing to understand the full leverage available to you in each individual transaction. How to get more from everything that you do. Okay, so that's what makes this a superior coaching program. But remember, the coaching's free. You guys are buying a system. Okay, you're buying a system. So, but without the coaching, it doesn't work. No question about it. It's like buying a McDonald's franchise, right? You guys have heard me use this example. Remember, you buy the McDonald's franchise, you drive up, you get out of your car, you go up to the front door. The guy that you bought the franchise from, he hands you the keys, all right? You grab the keys, you're like, oh my God, my own McDonald's. You put the key in the door, you turn it, you open it, unlock it, walk in, cut the lights on. You look around, it's like, oh my God, look at this place. It's amazing. My own McDonald's franchise. And then all of a sudden you say, okay, now what? They're like, what do you do? Like, right, it doesn't work. Without the coaching and training from McDonald's, and what do they call it, Hamburger University, it doesn't work. All right, here's what else doesn't work. If you decide that you can do it better than McDonald's, I can make the French fries better. You know, this hamburger meat that they use, I can get a better quality hamburger meat from this other distributor over there. So once you get down the road of changing things, it no longer becomes a McDonald's franchise. And you guys have been to those places, the McDonald's, you're like, something's not right with this place. I didn't like this McDonald's. Well, there you go. It's a result of the owner not engaged or following or implementing the system. All right, so anyway, I thought that would be pretty good today, giving you those mistakes, and hopefully you made really good notes of them. If you have any questions, and I think some of you do, so what I would do is I would encourage you to ask them. Okay, I've got time for just a couple, but not many, so I'm going to get Andrea to help me. So if you want to raise your hand and ask me a question, we'll open up your microphone. You can do that up in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, raise your hand, we'll answer your questions. Or you can type it in, and Andrea will read it, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. So Andrea, got time for a couple, not many, but go ahead and help us out here.
Okay, I'll go ahead with Shida. How do I tour loops to USP commercial?
Okay, so that's a good question. So let's suppose that I've got a virtual tour over here on the left, okay, and I've got over here on my right a commercial that I had Shy at Lifestyle Media do for me with my Guaranteed Sell program. How do I connect them both? Well, first of all, I wouldn't do it. And this is the mistake that many of you make, is you think about how can I do it, all right? So I want you to write this down. Everybody listening? Write this down. How can I not do it? Because if it depends on you, it'll take forever to get it done because you'll know how. Here's how it works. You sit down, you go to Google, you research it, programs to splice two videos together, put one in the middle of another. Oh, I found the program. You buy the thing, you do all this stuff. It just doesn't work. It doesn't happen, man. There are people out there that will do it for you. Okay, and on Fiverr.com, you can send them both videos. They'll connect them together however you want. It costs you about $35. It's done. Okay, so you want to be thinking as the rainmaker about how not to do things, just like you are thinking about how to do things. But that's how these things work. So two pieces of advice and answers to the question in one. You can get it done on Fiverr. You can make a deal with your virtual tour company. Hey, every virtual tour you put together for me, virtual tour company, insert this commercial in 2/3 of the way in. This video commercial here. Okay, great. Everyone you send over to me, I want it inserted in there. All right, and that's it. Maybe you make a deal with the virtual tour company. Hey, I'll pay you 10% more on all the virtual tours you do for me if you never do the same thing for another real estate agent in my marketplace. Anyway, just some ideas and some strategy there around that. But again, it's what you think, it's how you think about things that'll get you, that makes all the difference in the world here in your real estate business. So yeah, that's important, how not to do things. So good question that allowed us to answer it a few different ways. All right, how about another one?
Our next question, please explain what the 6 USP ingredients are.
Well, I've done that a few times over the last 11 years. So I'll do it again. Okay, this will be a good way to wrap up our webinar today. We're a little short on time because of our travel schedules. Craig's right in the middle of preparing for a conference he's doing, and I'm up against a deadline to get the materials for the June event over to the folks to put them on a USB stick for everybody that shows up there. So the 6 ingredients. All right, let me direct you guys to a resource here on that. Here I am back in the coaching site. So I go to libraries, file library, webinar library. In the webinar library, I can click on Platinum Session. And when I click on Platinum Session, there it is right here. Platinum Business Building Consults with You. Okay, so this webinar, I get into in great detail the 6 ingredients, okay, and I just call them 6 ingredients, critical for a unique selling proposition, okay, for a reference. So, because right now I can give them to you, but you want to be able to understand how to use each one of them, what they do, and how they mean things. So it would take me about an hour to really detail each one of them. So let me show them to you, okay? Let me go back to, here we go, I'll go back to Mr. Dan's card. Okay, we were looking at the card that had a couple of leaks in it, money leaks in it, but it's pretty close to being really good. And, all right, number 1, okay, number 1, you're the agent with the buyers. Okay, demonstration that you're the agent with the buyers. Number 2, you sell homes for more money. Get my little highlighter out. Okay, number 1, you're the agent with the buyers. Number 2, you sell homes for more money. Number 3, you sell homes faster. All right, number 4, they're just more likely to sell if you get your hands on them. Number 5, hey, don't take my word for it. Okay, other people say that it's so. And number 6, risk reversal. There you go. All 6 right there in one place. So depending on the size or the context of your marketing materials will determine if you can squeeze that much of your message, your narrative, so to speak, into the marketing piece. Okay, Mr. Odom here was able to do that. Did a good job. So good job there, Dan. And he's a good listener. So anyway, there we go. That's going to pretty much, let me erase all of these drawings here and get back to where I wanted to get. Hang on one second. Normal. Boom. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for some time today. Okay. But, you know, that's a really good webinar. So, Andrea, do me a favor when you get it. You know, I know you recorded it, but, yeah, we're going to get that on the coaching side for everybody to hear. I'd recommend you give this one another go. Those are some big mistakes that I highlighted there, and insight into the gravity of making those mistakes, failing to realize those things, as well as getting you pumped up, man, for the June 15th, 16th Platinum Ultimate Business Building Bootcamp. So with that, I'm going to leave you to get back to work on your business. Like I said, you finish up the webinar, looking at your to-do list, prioritizing your items, and now you go to work on them, okay? So that's how these things work. Andrea, thanks again for all your help. It's awesome. You're awesome. And on behalf of Craig Proctor and everybody associated with our Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker program, let's go sell some houses. We'll talk to you guys soon now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a wonderful afternoon.